Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kavinsky's Tutorials. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough of this really cool and totally free Tremolo app called XTrem or NeSi XTrem, N-E-S-I. I'll put a link in the pinned comment to this video. So this is available for iPad and iPhone, and I'm looking at it here on iPad. So yesterday there was some discussion in the Loopy Pro, name changed, in the Loopy Pro forum about what's a good stereo tremolo. And then it got me thinking about this, and I realized that one of the best ones is this totally free app. So I thought I'd do a little video on what makes this interesting, but I'll also mention some of the limitations of this app. So what's really interesting about this is that if you look at the UI, you can see here 3 levels: dry level, VCA level, and low-pass gate level. So when you make a tremolo, a typical tremolo is just modulating the amplitude, and there are different ways that you can do that. But basically, you can just apply an LFO to the amplitude, right? But another less common way is using a low-pass gate. This gets a bit technical, and I'll paste in the description from the developer about that. But one thing he mentioned was that when you use a low-pass gate for tremolo, which basically is just doing kind of filtering, pretty much, normally you don't have control over the width of the filter or the resonance, but here you have those, and you've got completely separate control of left and right rates, right? Now, the limitation of this app is if you look at it, you can see here we have all these different buttons, but you only see one slider. So basically here, it's showing me the slider for whatever button I've selected. So here we've got the slider for the right side tremolo. And if I want the slider for the left, I have to press left rate, and then I can adjust that, right? And obviously I would much prefer it, and I mean obviously on an iPad it would be good if you just had sliders for all of these things so that you could tweak more than one thing at the same time. Now you could use a MIDI LFO or something, but for some of these controls, like the rates, it wouldn't work well, because if you look at the range of frequencies that you have, it's massive, which is great, because that allows you to do smooth control. But with a MIDI LFO, you're going to have to, maybe limit the range very, very radically if you want to be able to use a MIDI LFO, or even just a slider and a MIDI controller to adjust the range in the same very smooth way that you can in the app. So it's a pity that there aren't sliders for everything, but what do you want? It's a free app, Won't complain too much. So thanks to this developer. Neon Silicon have a load of good free apps, by the way, and a lot of them leaning on the experimental side. So listen to the dry input here. So let me just take this reverb off as well. So this is Riffler doing a reversed guitar sound. And here we got NeSi XTrem. And you see, this is the thing, like this is a bit extreme, right? If you're not using any reverb especially, but I mean, you might want that, and I often really like extreme tremolo effects. And here you can hear, the low-pass gate is adding a lot to that. If I bring down the VCA level and the dry level, we can hear the low-pass gate level. Let me play with the left rate. So it's really cool that, right? Again, it can get extreme, but that's why it's nice to put a big creamy reverb after it. Or not, if you want that extreme effect. So here we've put the resonance up. Let's just leave the sweep like that for the minute. So that's the difference with the resonance. down and up. There, the low pass sweep. So we bring that all the way down. We've almost got nothing, but we do have a tiny little bit. So let's bring out in the dry. And the typical normal VCA tremolo level. And let's just change those rates because that right rate is far too high. And then put on Alteza here, which is just beautiful. For this kind of thing, you know, if I want a really nice, rich, lush reverb. And there's a lot more going on here than I think many people realize. I did a walkthrough on this on my Patreon recently. Really cool app. But it's also nice to then put that through a convolution reverb, put it through a real space. So here I'm using Revolve's Uppsala Cathedral impulse response capture. Let's hear this on something else. So here I sampled something into Salome, this MPE sampler, one of my most useful apps, I think. And what I sampled here, by the way, is something really cool that is not out yet, so I can't say anything about it, but it's coming out soon. So let's just first get this nice drone going. Oh yeah, I just love this sort of thing. This is my happy place. No, I mean, that is beautiful the way it is. Hang on, let me open up a fresh instance of Nessie and see what it's like on the default. Okay, so let's just start from a default patch. So first of all, we can see the dry level is down a lot, and we have the VCA. We don't have the low-pass gate at all. Now, let's change the times, because this is a little bit fast. But you know, this is one of the things I love about this tremolo, because it can go so slow. And it's incredible how many tremolos, this is what I realized when I started looking, how many tremolos just don't go anywhere near slow enough for my taste at all. It's scandalous. So there's the right rate. Now we haven't even looked at this modulation factor section yet, which is great. So let's just bring down for a minute the VCA level. Let's just bring down the dry level completely. And let's hear this low-pass gate on this. Oh, so nice. So they're changing the right rate. Now look at the waveform. So just a sine wave. Let's start playing with. Now, one thing I'll say, it's a bit tricky to catch the slider at the beginning. It needs, the touch zone needs to be widened, I think. So look. This is basically using FM synthesis to create an interesting waveform. Now that can get a bit extreme, especially, well, only I think if you're using the low-pass gate. But, you know, if you get any sort of stepping or anything like that, or too much, you know, clicking, just bring down that low-pass sweep level. And remember, you don't even have to use low-pass sweep at all, right? But let's just put this very extreme. Right? But you know, we could have just a little bit of that. And by the way, it would be interesting, I think, to use maybe 2 instances of this one just focused on VCA level. So then you could have a VCA type tremolo with separate left and right modulation settings and speeds and stuff, and totally different then for the low pass gate. Here put through Alteza. And here bringing in the shimmer effect by sliding up this value here. Did much. Let's bring that down. So this is pitched an octave up now. That's it, an octave down. Try a different pitch. Maybe just have a little smidgen of it. So if we put that reverb on it, then, you know, it's a bit more forgiving also with the more extreme waveforms here. That level down a little bit. Great little free app. I love Tremolo. So thanks to the developer for making this and his other apps free. And thank you for watching, everyone. And have a great day wherever you are, or evening, whatever time zone you're in. Take it easy.